Aloha yogis! We are going to practice Mayurasana. This posture is an advanced Ashtanga posture. It's an arm balance, and although we're working with our wrists and our hands and our elbows and our shoulders, really the strength all comes from the core. You're using your abdominal muscles. Focus mostly on the solar plexus. When you do this posture enough, you get this nice little bruise on your abdomen, and that's just what you want, at least when practicing the posture. You are literally squeezing in your elbows, and your point of balance is right here on the solar plexus. So it's really challenging. The best way to practice this is to strengthen your core, whether that's through yoga or Pilates or swimming, working out, whatever you enjoy as your workout the most. Take some more attention and put it in your abdominal muscles, your core, your obliques, a little bit of the psoas. I mean, we just want to tighten up everything in the middle here because you are going to be balancing right at the solar plexus. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then we can get started at breaking it down step by step. All right, yogis, that's it. So let's see how it goes. We'll break it down. There's a lot happening in the hips and the legs, all in the belly though. So we're going to practice some deep breathing and really focusing on tightening up your solar plexus. All right, yogis, you're going to find a lot of different variations for this posture, mostly in the wrists. Some hands face forward, some hands face backward. The traditional way is to have your hands facing backward, and if you like that, go for it. I broke both my wrists, so that way feels kind of uncomfortable for me, but we can go over it. I tend to keep my hands facing forward because I like to vinyasa from there and come into a down dog and continue on with my vinyasa flow type yoga, but when I'm practicing Ashtanga specifically, I keep my hands back. Now aside from that, your elbows are squeezing into the belly. You're really tucking in the abdomen, squeezing in the rib cage. You want to get nice and low. Now, for ladies, this is just something you're going to have to practice doing. Elongating your chest, extending your spine. It's not that it's a spinal extension posture in full. You just want to keep the chest lifted and the back nice and long. This is also going to help to open up your abdominal muscles. So the first step is really to tuck and squeeze and get nice and close to yourself. See how that feels. See how if you can get your elbows touching. Now if your elbows can't touch fully, that's okay. They can be slightly apart, especially ladies. Sometimes we need to do this. What you don't want though is your elbows on the side of your body. You're balancing on the solar plexus. So you're going to practice tuck, tuck, squeeze. Tuck, tuck, squeeze. Tuck, tuck, squeeze. Getting the elbows as close as you can together. In this posture, sometimes you're going to see yogis with their legs extended out long. Sometimes you're going to see yogis in a crisscross position or in a lotus. And that's the way I like to do it. So if you can sit in lotus, we're going to start in lotus. Now if lotus is not part of your practice, try sitting crisscross, and I'll start from there too. You're going to roll onto your hands and knees. From here, squeeze in your elbows. They've got to touch or be really close to touching. You have to lean forward with your chest and extend your spine just so that you can open the abdominal wall. Lean forward, squeeze in the elbows, bow down, lift up. Then you can vinyasa. So since you're working in your abdomen, maybe you can see it right now, it's getting a little bit pink, and that's from literally putting pressure in from the elbows. You're gonna have a little bit of tension in the wrists if you're not used to arm balances, and that's totally normal, it's okay. You wanna take the breaks you need to roll the wrists forward and backward. Shoulders are at work here too, because of that internal rotation and the elbows touching. But yogis, most of it is just gonna be finding that awkward counterbalance between squeezing in your abdomen, leaning forward, and finding your weight right in the middle so that your legs can hover. Yeah? All right, so again, it looks like this. I'm gonna come into it from a lotus because that's how I feel most comfortable, but the crisscross position is absolutely fine too. You lean forward, squeeze in the elbows. You can drop your chin initially to begin with, but then you're gonna hover and hold. So with the chin down and then lifting, this is how it looks. Lean forward, squeeze in. I'm gonna drop my chin. From here, I'm gonna lift my legs. Now I'm gonna find my balance. Yeah? I'm gonna show you a more traditional variation of Mayurasana. This is gonna be with the wrists pointing outward, fingertips towards your toes, and legs extended. So it's pretty tough. This is the way we do it in Ashtanga. The other variations are kind of how we do it in a vinyasa class, so you can continue your flow and keep moving. Well, let's give this a try. Let's see how it feels. So starting in a down dog with your fingertips pointing towards your toes. Push up and back. You're gonna look forward, lean forward. Remember to tuck in the elbows. And you just gotta find your balance there. Yogis, this is a fun posture. It's really hard, it's really challenging, but that's part of the fun in it. Now, if that doesn't feel good for your wrists, if it's not good for your personal yoga, don't force it, don't do it. That's just how a traditional Mayurasana looks. My favorite way to do it is in the lotus or the crisscross position, leaning forward and finding balance. Now, something that happens sometimes in Mayurasana is that when you come into it, you keep your knees down. See that? You can't really hover. That also just puts too much stress on your solar plexus. Part of the hard part in Mayurasana is lifting the legs really high, nice and high, so that you do have a tilt in your body, then you can just find your balance as you pop back. So, when you come forward, squeezing in the elbows, remembering you're balancing fully on your abdomen, lift up your legs nice and high. Now this posture is challenging to breathe in, it is challenging to talk in, so it's not totally recommended, but it is a fun one to balance in. So I hope that helps. This video is just a little insight to what Mayurasana looks like, and there's lots of videos out there to help you understand what's happening in your body more. If you notice, my belly is getting nice and pink right now from all that practice. My wrists are a little bit tender, so I'm gonna roll them out, and you should do the same. Know that if you don't get it the first time, that's okay. Yoga is an ongoing journey. It should be fun and challenging, but most of all, most importantly, enjoyable. So just keep practicing and come to class. We can practice together. Mahalo.